Awesome.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adrianna Ramirez. I am Executive Director of Connecticut Family Support Network. We're excited today to have a community conversation with guests from Camp Harkness. If you don't know about Connecticut Family Support Network, we are a statewide organization, nonprofit, supporting families, raising children, adult family members with disabilities and special health care needs throughout Connecticut, and being able to support through one-on-one family support coordinators, training such as this one that we're doing today, and also support groups, play groups, and an annual conference. And we do this in English and Spanish, so hopefully you will connect with us if this is your first time. We are happy that you're here. If you are a CTFSN family or friend, welcome back. And I am going to introduce everyone to Camp Harkness, as they are listed as Camp Harkness staff. They will each introduce themselves. We are going to stay off camera. I'm sorry, off mute. We're going to let the presentation continue and record the presentation. And whatever time we have left, we will have a Q&A section. So without further ado, thank you, all of you from Camp Harkness. We've got Elisa, Theo, and Jackie. I'm going to let you take over, and I will be watching chat and letting everybody in. So welcome. We're really excited to have you here.
Thanks. We're excited to be here. So we are Camp Harkness. We are part of Department of Developmental Services, our property. And as a property, we service all individuals with any type of disability, and we welcome anybody to come and enjoy the grounds at camp. There is a lot involved in that, and we're going to fill you in on that, on how you can be part of our Camp Harkness family, enjoy the grounds, and we will move forward with that. But we just want to introduce ourselves. My name is Elisa Marcoux, and I am the director.
My name is Jackie. I'm the secretary in the office.
And I'm Theo Powers. I am one of the seasonal assistant directors, and I use they, them pronouns.
Okay, so since we have so many wonderful things, just like Adrian said, we're gonna wait on the questions. And if you want, write them down just so that we don't miss them. But we're gonna get into, I'm gonna move here. Okay, so what we're going to cover, and hopefully that this will answer your questions, we're going to cover we're going to cover a little bit about the history of Camp Harkness, why we became who we are, and how did we, get here. How to become a pass holder. Anything, if you're going to come and just visit camp for the day, we'll go over that part. If you want to come and stay overnight, you can do that. Some people like that, some people don't. We're going to go over group events and how to get involved as a group. Summer camps, we'll go through the camps that come and when they do come and when camp is available while they're here. And we'll brush upon our annual events and how you can come on grounds and see some great things that we have going on during the whole year. And then we'll go through, like if you would like to become a volunteer, some of the efforts in doing that. And then we will also go over like upcoming projects that we have and how you can contact us, and then question and answer. Okay, so just a little bit about the camp history. As you can see, there's Mary Stillman Harkness in that photo there. She was a philanthropist. She was part of the Harkness family. So before anything happened with camp, the Harkness family was part of that. And they also she also did some support with the Mystic Seaport. She did stuff with the Marine Historic Society, but her passion was Camp Harkness. She worked with her and her husband Ed worked with the New York Orthopedic Hospital to bring children between the ages of 4 and 12 from the New York and to get them to come and stay. They would have them lodge here at camp. She wanted them to feel the sunrise and see, I mean, the sun on them, and she wanted them to have all homegrown foods and just, you know, she felt like the ocean was really helpful as well. So that's where it pretty much started. So from 1920 to 1943, that's what she worked on. So she would do retreats for the families, and that was her biggest project. And she did that up until like 7 years before she had passed. And in that, then she went from, she gifted it to the state of Connecticut, but at that time it was Department of Developmental Services. And the deep, if you guys ever see something with deep. And so they managed the property. It was 102 acres and they managed that. But what came about from there is so that was till 1977. So then Camp Harkness temporarily, it went to Department of, actually, I just said that. So then in
Silence
Sorry.
your phones during.
Sorry
the
about that. That's my
presentation.
dad calling me. Okay. So in 1977 until present, that is when Department of Developmental Services took over and provide all types of programs with camps in Connecticut and for family members to be able to utilize our camp. But you can go into that too. Like if you ever want to Google Camp Harkness and the whole history behind it, it's really neat. She was a pretty interesting woman. So today, okay. So presently, Camp Harkness provides access to all the outdoors and Connecticut residents for any, and it has to be a permanent disability. So once the pass is issued, the individuals have access to the camp for life on this 102 acres of property and the gardens and the whole waterfront area. And there's plenty to explore. And during that time, like like there will be some camps being run on grounds, but we'll go through a little bit more of what you can do. And Theo will get into that part a little bit more of how you can become a pass holder and take advantage of all of our programs.
Yeah, so a lot of our programs today are really involved, especially our partners for our summer camp programs who stay with us between June and August. Those are the ARC, Oak Hill, Sunrise, and Southbury Training School. They provide summer camps for adults with disabilities, which is different than becoming a pass holder, so we'll get to it in just a minute. But I'm sure by now, seeing some pretty pictures and what we have around, a lot of you are asking, okay, can I come? And the answer could be yes. So a lot of our pass holders are simply individuals who have a permanent disability and live in the state of Connecticut. We also accept passes from organizations who directly support individuals with disabilities. Something like a group home, a nonprofit. There's a lot of opportunity to become an organizational pass holder as long as you and your colleagues, co-volunteers, co-workers do the work to directly support individuals with disabilities in the state of Connecticut. There are also some situations in which you may be eligible for one column that you wouldn't expect. So say you have a family member who lives in a group home, that individual would be eligible to come with fellow group home residents or group home staff under an organization pass. But say you want to come as a family, we could also issue a pass in the individual's name to the family. So if their staff are bringing them, they would come under the organizational pass. And if their family was bringing them, they would come over an individual pass.
And under that pass, under the individual pass, you're only allowed 5 guests and the pass holder is 6 together. So that's what we allow for amount of people for the individual passes.
Yes, despite being 102 acres, a lot of it is marsh. So we do try and make sure we share what space we have. Any individual pass holder can bring up to 5 guests of their choosing, be it family members, friends, or support staff. And we'll get more into the difference between group events and individual events down the line as well. But the one big thing across the board that we do like to really hammer home when we're talking to new people who may not have heard about us is that outside of our events that are open to the public, we do our best to limit who's entering to those who truly need this place. So to make sure that we can best serve them, we ask that you only come as a guest of a pass holder, or if you are an individual with a disability, obviously you're welcome in any time. The steps to obtaining your very own pass is a pretty simple process. It's a simple one-page application that you can pick up from us in the office if you're willing to come down. If you live a little bit further away, it's available online in multiple different areas. You can find it on ct.gov, you can find it on campharknessfoundation.org, or you can email anybody at the office as well. There are also certain schools, case managers, doctors' offices that may already have a copy available. We do our best to spread the word best we can. Our least favorite sentence is, "I've never heard of you guys." So if you have someone you think should have a copy of that application on hand, let us know and we can send them a digital copy to share. Once you have your hands on that paper, the rest of the steps are tried and true, very simple. If you have, say, a school case manager or a social worker who may be able to sign for you, or if you have a DDS case manager with a DDS number, they can help you fill out that application. They will need to sign it and include your DDS number. But if you don't have access to a DDS case manager, hope is not lost, we promise. You are welcome to invite a medical professional on your care team to fill it out instead. So that can be someone like a doctor or an RN who can attest to the presence of your disability. And then once all of our forms are completed, so every box is checked, every line is filled, the doctor signs it. And another special thing with doctors, we have a list of all the case managers. So we get their name and their signature, you're good to go. We don't exactly have a list of every doctor that provides care in the state of Connecticut. So if you are having a doctor fill out your form, ensure that they either have a stamp on our application or that they attach a letterhead or some other appointment card, something that allows our office to connect their name and signature to their practicing location. So once everything gets to us, you can send it in by email, fax, drop it off in person, send it through good old snail mail. We will get it and send it back to you. It'll come in an envelope with a welcome letter, some information about our partners at the Camp Harkness Foundation, parking pass, which is that green card pictured. You can hang that up on your rear view mirror, and your white key card. The white key card is the most important thing that we are going to give you as Camp Harkness staff. It is also the only thing that costs money here. So unfortunately, if you misplace your white key card, it is a $25 replacement fee. Protect it with your life, so to speak. But it is yours for as long as you can hold on to it, keep track of it, not leave it in the car you sold, which I think is the most popular reason I hear that people have lost their cards. But every 5 years, it is not deactivated, it's not garbage, but it will temporarily stop working until you visit camp the next time and work with us to fill out a renewal form. That simply allows our office to keep contact with you, make sure that your information is up to date, and then we will reactivate that same white key card. There's no fee associated, and there's no reason to change out your form at all. So it is a lifetime pass with a tiny little caveat that we just have to keep in touch with you. And if you do have anything come up with this process, hang on to the end and we will answer any specific questions about how to obtain a pass.
The other thing with getting your pass as well is that we still go by snail mail, and our snail is really, really slow. We don't have somebody picking it up here, so it's when we can get to a main office. So we do our best to get it out there. We do ask if you do want to come by that you do give us a call, because throughout the season it's just Jackie and I. And sometimes if we're not here, we really don't want you to have to travel an hour to get here and, not have anybody here to talk to you about it.
Yeah, so every time that you have your pass mailed to you, just know it's been on its own little adventure already. So it starts at our office, we get it over to one of the DDS mail rooms, and then it travels through USPS to you. So do give us between a week and 3 weeks before you call saying, "Where's my card? I can't find it. It didn't come. Did they lose it in the mail?" Just let it breathe, let it grow. It'll get to you when it does.
We can still let you in though. Like
Yes.
if you just call and say you still want to come down for the day, you can still get in. All we have to do is look up your pass and make sure that it went through.
It's a pretty simple process, even without the key card. Someone is always here to help you. And just before we move on to day visits, another really cool point. We do have a gate at the front of our facility. It only allows one vehicle through per swipe or per opening. So if a staff member opens it for you or you're swiping your own card, we ask that everybody ensures one vehicle enters, the gate closes, and then the gate is opened again. We don't want any property or personal damage involved in closing the gate on top of you. So one car at a time, it goes through snail mail, and we are happy to hold your hand through the whole process if we have to. We want you to be able to access this place. And some of the reasons why are all of the cool things you get to do, even just during a day visit. So let's start with our sensory garden. Right now, we can see it from Elisa's office out of our windows. It's very near to some, like, right on the street accessible parking. It is tended to for 6 months of the year by one of our horticulture, well, she's our only horticulturalist, but one of our seasonal staff members serves specifically as our horticulture director to ensure that different plants are blooming at different times, that it's well taken care of, and we have a lot of volunteer contribution as well, especially when it comes to weeding and planting and laying down new mulch every season. It's a lot of upkeep and it's beautifully worth it. We ensure that there are all kinds of ways to interact with these plants. So even if someone has low visibility and may not be able to distinguish the shapes, colors, sights of the flowers themselves, we ensure that there's lots of ways to interact through smell and touch as well. We additionally have a spiral path at one end, which is wheelchair accessible. If you feel like taking a minute to have a meditative labyrinth walk, even a wheelchair can enter all the way to the center, do a complete turn, and exit without much trouble. There's additionally a cute little gazebo in the back, prime spot for lunch if you're coming down for the day, surrounded by all these beautiful flowers. And we do our best, especially in the spring, summer, and early fall, to watch out for our pollinator friends. We even have a little tent for certain caterpillar species we may find, especially monarchs. So even though we get plenty of them coming through, there are also some that are being protected by our staff. And if you are lucky to catch one of them when they are emerging from their chrysalis, you may even be able to see a butterfly release at Camp Harkness. One of the other really cool things we have at camp is our waterfront space. So as you can see in this picture, it's this nice long stretch of beach. It is right on Long Island Sound. Fortunately, we're fairly well protected. We don't typically have too many waves. It's a nice gradient slope. We do have sand and water wheelchairs available for use while we have staff at the beach. So if someone is unable to walk over the sand or unable to enter the water, our lifeguard staff is typically available from 9 to 5, from Memorial Day to Labor Day, to assist with that. It is only open for swimming during those times that lifeguards are on duty, so we do ask that you're mindful of that. But we invite you to explore the beach, pick up some shells or sea glass any time of year, whenever you like. I know it might be a little small on your screen, but way back here, you may be able to see one of our 4 pavilions. So those are picnic shelters constructed right there at the waterfront, available for reservation by individuals or groups. So if you're interested in coming down for a little charcoal grill with you and your 5 guests, you're more than welcome to, bring your own charcoal, have a nice picnic down there. And then the picture itself on the screen is taken from the George Daly Memorial Overlook. George Daly was one of our previous camp directors. And in his memory, this wonderful wheelchair accessible overlook was constructed. It goes right up to the rocks at the edge of the water. Great place to breathe in the sea air. You can fly a kite off of there really well, speaking from personal experience. And as your local lifeguard, I do recommend everyone remembers some sunscreen if they are coming to the beach. One of the other really cool things that we have available at Camp Harkness is our equestrian center. So it is seasonally available and dependent on which animals or partners we have at the time. But anytime that there are animals in and the gates to the barn are open, we invite you to come on in and say hi through the fences. We ask you stay out of the paddocks without a volunteer or staff accompanying you. Currently, Mia Coda is our horse friend down there, Mia for short. And if you are around at sunup or sundown, you may run into Denise, her lovely human, who does some lunging, which is basically teaching Mia how to respond to verbal commands from a rider or trainer. It's really awesome to watch, and if I could let you in on a little secret, Mia adores carrots and apples. So if you have some time and an apple in your pocket, you will have a new best friend down at the equestrian center.
We might keep some in the office too, so.
If you're lucky.
Yes.
If you're lucky.
We
stop
gave
by.
out several yesterday.
Yeah, so she's very well cared for, very, very well adored by our local community out here. And while it may not necessarily be on camp, it would be remiss if I did not shout out some of our neighbors. While you do have a whole 102 acres to get through, lots of things to do on the property itself, we are fortunate enough to be sandwiched between two other wonderful outdoor spaces. To the west is Harkness Memorial State Park. We do have two separate entrances. You may get mixed up at your GPS. You'll figure it out. Both of our booth operators seasonally know how to direct someone who's at the one location to the other if need be. But Harkness Memorial State Park is an amazing preservation of the grounds as the Harkness family lived there. Eola Mansion is open for tours during seasonal weekend dates. It's a wonderful place to walk. They have these manicured gardens, nice stone dust trails, fairly accessible as well for anyone with limited mobility. They have some boardwalks down to their section of the coast, some protected egret nests. It's all very cool. It's all very outdoors, and it's right next door. We even have one paved road connecting the two properties. And then to our east is the Eugene O'Neill Theater, which is sort of smushed together with Waterford Town Beach. Those are right next door as well. You can get through camp. It's a little less paved to get over there, but they offer Wednesday night concerts.
Yes.
Wednesday concerts at around 6 throughout the summer season. They've got food truck festivals on occasion. I think they've done like a puppet show every year running. Around August time, they have their unified theater as well. So there's performances, there's all sorts of stuff, and it's right next door. If you're looking to go a little bit further, Waterford, the town in which we're located, is right next to East Lyme, and their coastal village of Niantic is full of shops, places to walk, wonderful food. A great way to sort of get back into society if you've gone to camp too hard. And then on our other side is New London, which is a little bit bigger than Niantic, lots of access. There's a train station, there's ferries. It's generally a cool town, so it's a tad closer to us than Niantic, but either way, it's a really good way to spend your afternoon or evening if you're looking to grab a bite and sort of re-enter society, because sometimes you just spend too much time in the woods. Hopefully not though, right?
Yeah.
We like it out here.
Oh, the beach.
Like it out
We like the
here.
beach. Yeah.
So those are a little taste of the things to do while you are here. But if you can't cram it all into one day, or maybe you live further away, we do offer overnight camping. So first and foremost, we're going to go through what each of our sites have available. So no matter where you're staying with us, you will always have access to certain things. And we as staff will always ask, first and foremost, when you arrive, you check in with us at the office. That way we know you're here. We're here to help if you need us. And then when your stay comes to an end, just make sure you pass through the office again to check out. This step is especially important if you're staying in any of our buildings, because you are going to need the key. So whether you're staying in a cabin, in a tent, wherever, you will always have access to flush toilets, showers, and running water. Some of them are shared down at the tent sites. The majority are private. So wherever you are as well, you're always going to be responsible for bringing your own supplies and equipment. If you're tent camping, you get a nice patch of grass. You're in charge of bringing your tent, your, cooler, your blow-up mattress if you're feeling fancy. And if you're staying in one of our buildings, it's pretty much the same. We will provide you a space to sleep, a bed frame, and a mattress. You've got to bring everything from your linens to your afternoon snack. And across camp, quiet hours are about 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. That's just to ensure that we're all respectful of our neighbors who may be trying to sleep. And then finally, across the board, we are a pet-free facility. So any furry or feathery friends will have to sit this one out for overnight stays. We're going to get a little bit more into the specifics of each of these locations, starting with our tent sites. So you can see in the top picture an example of what our tent sites occupied might look like. You can see everybody has their own different style. And then below that is a picture of our bathhouse. You can see there is an image of our outdoor sink, which you're able to use, as well as this white fence is an outdoor shower unit. Inside of the building, there is a men's room, a women's room, and a handicap accessible gender neutral restroom, which has a shower in it as well. Inside of the shower house, there is 4 outlets that the tent sites do share between them. You're invited to bring your own generators, but we do ask that you do not run cords from the bathhouse to your unit, because between the two, it is a road and we don't want anyone's cords getting run over. So these sites operate from Memorial Day to Labor Day. They're the easiest way for families to stay the night during our peak camp season when we're partnering with our resident camp programs. There are only 6 tent sites, so we do ask that you book early. We open our bookings in January of each year. And each of the sites can accommodate an RV of 35 feet or less, or up to 2 tents. And each of those 6 sites has a fire pit and a picnic table. Just like with day visits, pass holders are limited in the amount of guests they can bring. So 1 pass holder can bring up to 5 guests for a total of 6 staying at our tent sites or any of the buildings that we're about to go through. The next ones are, we're getting into the cabins now. We're going to start with the yellows. There's going to be 3 very similar cabin structures that we'll go through with little unique things to each of them. So the first one, our operational dates are Memorial Day to Columbus Day, with that break in the middle from the first week of June to the first week of August, so that our resident camps are able to sort of take over their space. So during the summer season, these are occupied by the Arc of Eastern Connecticut, but outside of that, we are ready to welcome family camping to any of these 6 units. And we have each of them with an AC unit. They all have electrical outlets. You can see a bit of a floor plan. It's not 1-to-1, but it gives you a general idea of what the space looks like. You have 2 bathrooms, well, 1 bathroom with 2 toilets, a shower, a sink, and those 6 beds. Out in front of them, you can see there's a shared swing set as well as a shared fire pit. What this picture does not show you is that most of these units have a lovely view of the sound just to the other side of the picture in the presentation. Moving on to the blue cabins, very similar setup and time frame to the yellow cabins. During that summer season closure from the first week of June to the first week of August, these are occupied by the Southbury Training School. But during the off season, we've got 6 units up for grabs. They all have AC, electrical, showers. They share their own communal fire pit and gazebo. You can see the gazebo in this picture. Additionally, it is just across the street from Donnie's Garden, which is one of our smaller garden areas throughout the camp. It's very quiet. It's a lovely place to be. And then the third of this kind are our green cabins. And they have the same operational dates from Memorial Day to Columbus Day. While the summer camps are operating, Oak Hill takes over this little group. There are still exactly 6 of them. They have the same exact amenities. They share a recently updated fire pit, which has a cute little amphitheater leading down to a nice flat paver base for your fire pit in memory of their former camp director, Bob Lowndes, over at Oak Hill. And another lovely little feature about these is that they have a connected covered porch. So greens 1, 2, and 3 have the same connected back porch, as well as greens 4, 5, and 6 sharing a porch. So maybe if you have a pass holder and a cousin who's a pass holder, you might want to get 2 of those units that share a porch. It's a nice way to really join up with other people coming to stay. These 3 groups, the yellows, the greens, and the blues, do not have heating. So if you are someone who is prone to temperature related issues such as seizures or muscle fatigue, anything that may impact your health, we do ask you to be aware of the time you're booking and to bring extra blankets if need be. We try to keep them open until Columbus Day. If we have a particularly cold fall, we will close them early as a matter of keeping everyone staying with us safe and comfortable.
Can I say also with the yellow, green, blue, as you can say, they do not have kitchens, anything to cook with or refrigerators. So we ask everybody who requests the yellow, blues and greens to bring a grill and a cooler to cool your food. So that's true camping. That's the only true camping you're gonna have here. But otherwise deal will go on with the other ones.
And actually, and make sure you don't bring a refrigerator, please.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Okay, don't.
Our electrical systems are doing what they can
Yes.
to keep your ACs
That
running.
has
Leave
happened.
the mini fridge at home, we beg.
One other thing to add with what Theo just said about what we have available in there, in the greens and in the browns. If your future camper or pass holder requires a Hoya lift, we have at least 6 units that have the system in the ceiling, you would have to bring your own Hoyer lift with you, but that is something that you would call us and we'll just fill you in and make sure that you do have access to a cabin that needs that.
Yeah. Jumping back to the kitchen point, I do want to make everyone aware outside of the summer camp season, we do our best to keep our dining hall available upon request for folks staying overnight. The dining hall allows folks to access a microwave, toaster oven, refrigerator, and freezer. Please remember that the refrigerator and freezer are shared spaces. Label your food with your group's name and the date you are leaving so that our staff can find the old food before it gets to be gross food. And just do be aware that, you know, occasionally accidents happen. Someone may grab something that's not theirs, and we have never had anyone with bad intentions do so, but we have had people make mistakes from time to time. So we ask you be forgiving about our communal spaces, and if you have any specific questions about what that looks like for you, please let us know. But do be advised, if you have something like refrigerated medication, we do not necessarily have the facility to keep that stored for you in these units. So moving on to our next kind, and we're getting a little fancier here, we have our brown cabins. So as Elisa mentioned, the greens and the browns do have some units with tracking in the ceiling prepared for a Hoyer lift, but it is up to the individual staying to bring that equipment with them. The browns are a lot more spacious, so it is definitely a little bit nicer for a wheelchair user or someone who needs a little more space to run around, maybe younger children. There are only 5 of them, and they make up 5 of our 8 heated units. So these ones are open year round, excluding the summer season. During the summer, they are used by Sunrise, or some of you may know them as United Cerebral Palsy, their former name. So when they got an update, it was focused on making sure that they were wheelchair accessible for those with, you know, cerebral palsy, MS, to be able to move around a little bit more freely in an open space. They also share a fire pit and a gazebo, and we do end up closing our year-round units for certain holidays where our full-time staff are not able to be on camp. So we're not exactly going to be able to provide you with a Thanksgiving or a Christmas getaway, but they are available in the colder months. Now, our fanciest units. These 3 cottages are, you know, the cream of the crop. Everybody's hoping to get a cottage.
We call it glamping.
It is very, very, very nice to stay in a cottage, and they are the last 3 of those heated units, meaning they're open year round. As you can see in the floor plan, there are 2 smaller bedrooms and a primary bedroom, meaning that there are fewer beds where the other cabins may have 6. These only have 4. However, you get your very own kitchen, which is a big win. We ask that, you know, those who are looking to stay in one of these asks as early as possible. We open requests for reservations in January of each year. So to ensure that you are asking early enough and hopefully getting to be somewhere you would like, we ask that you make those requests as early as possible in January and give us 3 potential dates that would work for you. And over the first few months of the year, we will process those. And once you get an email in return, they will be confirmed. And that may take through February or March. So please be patient. There are a lot of people that like to stay, and we do our best to accommodate everyone we can. These 3 are not clumped together like the rest of them. Cottage 1 is sharing in with the green cabins, so they're closer to their fire pit, their gazebo, and the greens additionally have a very new swing set, which was installed in 2023. Forgot to mention that, so I'll mention it about Cottage 1 instead. Cottage 2 shares with brown cabins, so they're very near to one of our main parking lots. So if anybody has, you know, a really short amount of distance that they can walk, Cottage 1 has a smaller lot in front of it, and Cottage 2 is very near to our main parking lot. And then Cottage 3, which is the one we have pictured here, is out by the yellow cabins and the blue cabins. It's right by that swing set you could see in the yellows picture, and you can almost see the ocean in this picture as well. So if you're looking for a nice view and a bit further away from vehicles, a little bit more secluded, Cottage 3 may be the one for you. It is one of our most highly requested units.
But not if your child is really addicted to their phone or their
Yes.
devices. Remember that Cottage 3 doesn't have really good service.
So we do work with the foundation to provide Wi-Fi for the area, but as you may have noticed, it was not listed on the amenities available at all of our locations because the central router does come from our office. The best places to stay if you need Wi-Fi would be one of the Browns. I was able to get Wi-Fi in Cottage One, but I think I was really lucky. So do be aware, it's still camping. You may not, be able to access the internet. If you have someone whose routine involves watching a lot of television to wind down, download it. We beg you. Anything else to add?
Yeah, as they were saying about the reservations, so another thing to keep in mind, as Theo was saying, that we start January 1st with the first request. We take all those and we send out emails to everybody. The second request, all pass holders are allowed 2 requests per year. So the second request will be April 1st. So if the pass holder wants another request, that will be granted on April 1st. So January 1st, April 1st.
Yep, so every pass holder can stay up to 2 times per year, and each of those stays may go up to 7 days total, excluding any reservations made in the month of August. Those we limit to 5 days as it is our most popular month. So if you get a reservation from your first request, you still have the opportunity to make another request in April, get that second reservation on the books. We do try and make sure that everyone has the time to ask for those reservations, which is why we only take 1 request in the first 3 months. And do keep in mind they are only requests until you receive an approval from us. And again, we'll go over some questions at the end. So I know that was a lot. If anybody has anything specific that's nagging them, write it down and we will be happy to chat with you at the end.
Okay, group events. We have lots of groups that utilize our camp, and in order to do a group event, there is going to be a separate form. It's called the Camp Harkness Special Event Guideline, and that is also on our website that you can go through it and check that out. We ask that you fill that out just because we do have rules. We want to make your event be very special and be successful. In order to do that, we need to have stuff set for you, and you need to have some information for us. Groups could vary from, you might have the pass holder who wants to have a birthday party. Well, that pass holder can come in and let me just move this, hang on. So I'm going to go through a few of them, but if the pass holder, say, wants to have a birthday party, they can bring 5 people with them. Now, if the pass holder and their friend are both pass holders at camp, they both can bring 5. So then there's a party of 12. That's just a little example, if that helps out. We don't do baby showers or, stuff like that here.
No
Sorry,
weddings.
yes, weddings or, weddings next door. But we did have a wedding, maybe a small, like somebody did their
One of our staff a very long time.
yeah, very
ago.
long time ago, or somebody did do their honeymoon here. They were both pass holders, which was kind of neat. So we do have like special education during the school. They come in at the end of the year programs. They don't technically have to fill out a special event thing, but they would have to call ahead in order to do those ones. Those start in what month, Jackie? In May?
Yeah, we get all the organizations in first, they're the priority. And then the pass holder can call in like late May to request a table underneath the pavilion.
Yeah, and there's lots of stuff. Like people come in and they'll do, under the nonprofits, they'll come in and they might want to do a special retreat for all their folks that work with people with disabilities, or that agency, or they may want to bring their agency in and do an end of summer program for a general work program. We have group homes that will come in. They will schedule it for picnics, or just they're coming during the season for the summer. They'll schedule something. And then we have state agencies. I know we have our Department of Developmental Services has, just for example, they're doing a retreat next week. Nice, everyone's dressing up in cowboy stuff and everything. It should be interesting. But then they also do a staff recognition program. And so when we're talking about any type of group though, we do, like we said, we want to be prepared to help you. And it could be, you might need a grill. And if you need to have the pavilion near a bathroom, we can help you with that. You might need extra tables, we can have that written down. And we're really good, and I am going to brag about our staff, about really good at setting everything up that people do want to have. So just make sure you give us a call on any of that stuff.
And the grill, the gas grill, we have a big gas grill, that's meant for large organizations over 25 people.
Yeah.
I think it is.
So we do have some fairly large picnics throughout the season. We partner with organizations like the Miracle League, CT Hands and Voices. So it is
Down syndrome.
possible for us to host events approaching like 300 people with advanced warning, as long as that is an organization that directly supports individuals with disabilities. And we are aware of the population we're serving. So if you're having an event with a lot of deaf attendance, we will ensure that those individuals who are hard of hearing have maybe paper instructions for directions around camp given to them at the entrance, and we'll do what we can to ensure that everyone is given access. Say, you know, we had one group who was working with individuals who had survived strokes, and they were not really retaining a lot of information, so they were also requesting that we have those slips printed out for them. So if there is some sort of accommodation that we can make to make your larger group event easier, we are more than happy to do so.
And parking's huge. We just want to make sure that everybody has, you know, proper places to park and they're able to get to where they're going. So we pretty much went through this. We asked you to call ahead and big time clean up after yourself, because there's not that many of us here. So if we do have garbage disposals and everything down there, so you'll be able to help that. We can also help with any of that, like with directing you to where you need to go. And it just goes through a few do's and don'ts with all of that. And then just make sure that you're checking in with us. We have some folks that we may hear from them once a month until they come, and we're okay with that because we're like, oh yeah, they're coming. So just like, you know, we're all human here. We just need a few reminders with some things as well.
Before we go away from this, I do want to make one additional point, which is we are open from sunup to sundown, just like a regular state park. But if there's an instance where you or some larger group that you're a part of is coming in before 8, 9 o'clock, you can give us a little bit of advance warning about that so that we are ensuring someone is there to let those guests into the park. We don't want anyone to get stuck at our front gate. We want you to come in and enjoy the day. So give us a heads up if that's the case. And as we mentioned, the pavilions are all along our beachway. The parking lot doesn't go that far. So if you have someone setting up equipment or something of that sort, we do ask that you leave your vehicles on pavement just to protect our natural spaces.
Beautiful grounds. Yes. So summer camps. So we are, as Theo likes to say, we are the property office. Okay, I kind of like to say the mothership, but we are the property office, which means we're in charge of the safety of everybody on grounds. So we are not in charge of the summer camps. So if you may call us in the middle of the season or before and say, I didn't get my application, well, you're not going to get it from us. We are going to direct you to the groups. If you get online for us, you will see them. And if not, like if you are really interested in, I'm going to go through the next set of slides, and it's going to tell you who the contact people are. Like any agency, some people change, but at least you'll know the name of it and you'll have the phone number. So one of the 4 camps that we do have, the first one is the Arc of Eastern Connecticut, and they accept all campers from age 21 and up. They're not limited to, you know, just in group homes or anything like that. And so that's who they are. I am going to say it this way. They're over and they utilize the greens, I mean, the yellows and the blue cabins over by the ocean view. So these are your contacts for that. I'm not sure, Adrian, are you going to put some of these for them to see this, or?
I'll be sharing the attachments
Okay.
that was
That
sent
have
to
the
me with all the
contact.
contacts and everything. Yep.
Okay.
And it is just a time check. It is 3:49.
Okay, All right, thank you. Then we have Sunrise Northeast. This is another one. They accept pretty much anybody, but they're unable to accept campers with G tubes. Our next one is Oak Hill. Oak Hill right now is accepting campers, they call it in the waves. So right now it's within group homes and people affiliated with their agency, but they also are starting to take more folks in the community. Hopefully, that's what they're gearing towards, and they're trying to get some younger folks in as well. So these contacts she's going to keep. And then our last one, we have Southbury Training School. That's an internal organization. That's through Department of Developmental Services, and they don't accept anybody there, but they are part of our whole Camp Harkness family and making the whole area fun for the summer. And just so you know too, we didn't totally say when, I'm pretty sure we did, but it's the first week in June to the first week in August.
If anyone is interested in obtaining additional services from DDS, those information there connect you to our helplines. So if you know about us and know you may need some extra support, those contacts will be included at the end as well. But I'm going to go through the next little bit with you guys talking about our annual events at camp. So these are those days when we are open to the public, where we're getting more people involved. And I put together a little calendar. We'll go through pretty quick with you guys just to talk about what it looks like. So in the month of January, we're working behind the scenes pretty hard. We don't currently have any public events. February, we're starting to get our staff together for the season. So we're still working behind the scenes. March, we're doing the onboarding. So we're really getting close to like proper open season. And then we hit April. Our first open to the public event of the year is National Multiple Sclerosis Society's Walk MS, which is a huge 5K event, massive fundraiser, and they contribute their funds to, searching for ways to better the lives of individuals living with MS. And they are not our only partner for 5Ks or similarly large fundraisers. So we have some extra space in the calendar year. We may be able to partner with your organization as well. Moving into May, we work with DDS to set up Intellectual Developmental Disabilities Day at our property. So that's always supposed to be May 27th, as it is in IDD Day. It's a big celebration of living life with a disability, the ways that, that empowers us to be, shows us what we can do. This event really connects people to resources and the community. We would love if everyone could come. Moving into June, we don't necessarily have any open to the public events, but we do start our summer camps, and that is a huge deal for us. In July, we partner with the Camp Harkness Foundation to do Magic of the Fairies. We work with some local artists to create fairy doors throughout our garden. It is a very young event, so do check back before you show up in July for it, just in case anything has happened or the date has changed. Moving into August, we have our second oldest partnership with the Governor's Horse Guard Second Company. Only people that beat it are Oak Hill Camp. So that's been going quite a long time. And on the first Wednesday of every August, the Governor's Horse Guard will do a riding demonstration showing how well trained their horses are. It's amazing to watch. And the cool thing is, after, they will let you pet the horses, they will let you ride the horses. I fully recommend it. Shout out to my buddy Drifter. Moving into September, it's our busiest month of the year. So this year, Unified Q and Fall Fest were two separate events. Unified Q is a barbecue competition where professional teams partner up with individuals with disabilities to create professional barbecue plates. It went amazingly this year.
Amazing. It was amazing.
Yes. And this past weekend, we had Fall Fest, which is a Camp Harkness Foundation fundraiser, craft fair, fun day at camp. And in the future, we are looking to combine those two events. I believe next year, the dates are between September 11th and 12th. So we're looking for that second weekend of September. Lots of barbecue, lots of fall time themes. DDS does its own 5K as well. This year it is in October, but in years past, it has been in September. And then moving into October, we have even more 5Ks. So Terry Broder Walk is a fundraiser for breast cancer. They have partnered with us for a very long time, and we are very fortunate to, support the work and research that they do. Jack O'Keefe Memorial Race is through Strides and the Arc. It's another incredible fundraiser, a great way to, as they say, walk, run, or roll. A lot of people do the race in costume. It's a wonderful way to spend a day. And then another Camp Harkness Foundation event is our Camp Lanterns. So that's coming up this year on the 17th of October. The few days before that, we are accepting carved jack-o'-lantern donations from the public. So if you are interested in carving and donating a jack-o'-lantern to be set on display in our evening event, lit up, lighting up the whole garden, we do recommend it.
Sensory friendly.
Yes, we had some really good feedback last year that it is a little bit quieter, a little bit calmer than your typical trunk or treat. So if someone has sensory issues, it may be a really good way to get into the fall spirit. Moving into November, the motorcycle run is an incredible fundraiser that allows us to supply activities and funds throughout the year through DDS and the Camp Harkness Foundation. We work in partnership with the New London Harley Owners Group. There's like a line of 100 million motorcycles coming through camp. It's a wonderful time. And then this year on November 8th, we have our model train show. So that'll be live action displays of O-scale, G-scale trains for my train heads in the room. You'll be able to ride our train, the Sunshine Train. It's a pretty cool event. We recommend it. And then in December, we start wrapping things up again. So that is a very quick year at Camp Harkness.
So this next part here, I know we only have 5 minutes, Adrian, so we can just, if you guys are interested in volunteering, you can give us a call. Do it that way.
Yeah, we'll just shout them out really quick while we go through the rest of the slides. The foundation is always looking for new members. Let us know if you want to join. Master gardeners are really great at what they do and helping us keep the grounds beautiful, and they're always looking for help as well. If you want to come in with your own group, let us know. We'll help you plan an event. We'll help you, hop in on one of our existing projects. Elise is going to tell you a bit about all of our crazy fun upcoming / current projects really quick.
In my 1 minute, this is the old playground and this is gonna be our new playground. All right. So this is going to happen. It's going to be more accessible. As you can see, lots more area for people in wheelchairs to be able to actually have something else to do besides tic-tac-toe. And so we're going to have a couple levels to it. It's taken 3 years to get this far, but we are very excited. So that groundbreaking will be in October 1st weekend.
And something we've already started on is our ADA 0.4 mile loop trail. It's going to be stone dust. We broke ground at the start of the month, and we're hoping to have it done, beautified, amazing with the help of Camp Harkness Foundation, Botanical Beauty LLC, Southeastern Community Fund Grant, and the Horticultural Society of Connecticut.
And Vanessa.
Yes, she is an incredible individual, really making this happen.
Yes.
So a lot of information really fast at the end, but if you have questions or don't know who to call, this is a really good place to pop back to. If you have questions about the camp itself, the property, what we do, getting a pass, staying overnight, that's our office and we are happy to help you. If you get lost, we're also happy to redirect you. Don't worry, there's no penalty. If you have questions about camp applications, medication, lost items when your camper was staying at resident camp, make sure you know which summer camp provider to call, and do remember that that is outside of our jurisdiction, so all we can do is pass you on to the next number. And if you're interested in becoming involved, if you want to donate monetarily or donate your time, the best place to contact is the Camp Harkness Foundation. So as we move into the Q&A, we are going to leave our contact information up on the screen for you. So if you have any other questions, we are happy to take them. You will get a lot of information after this presentation in the form of a bunch of PDFs as well. And we are always happy to speak with you.
Great job. Thank you. Well, hopefully this opened up everyone's eyes about Camp Harkness, and we can better understand everything involved in the activities and the possibilities. Thank you. So I want to thank everyone. Camp Harkness, thank you to Elise, Jackie, and Theo for all the wonderful information.